All natural tallow. Yes, organic, friendly, and you need it. You're gonna need it. You're not gonna find this anything else here. Today I'm with Nin Caroline, one of the co-founder of this amazing organization. Caroline, can you tell me your story about your business?
Sure. I was really, it kind of goes back a few years. I was really sick. I was homebound for several years, and it ended up being a huge amount of that ended up being toxic body care products that I was using and toxic cleaning products. So I had to learn to not use those things. And then I started to get so much better. So I started to use tallow, but all of it didn't smell very good and it wasn't very great. And it was kind of expensive to buy. So I started to experiment with making my own and using all natural products, all organic, all grass fed beef with no hormones and no antibiotics and things like that. And found it was way cheaper for me to make it for myself, right? And then my son was like, Mom, you could probably sell this stuff. And I was like, no one's going to buy my tallow. And then he kept encouraging me to do it. And so this last summer, we started selling it at farmers markets, and it's been received quite well. But yeah, it was quite a learning process to learn how to make it, how to do it. And of course, I'm way healthier now than I was before. I'm up and out. And healthy.
Wow.
That's great.
Fascinating. So you were. I know sometimes some people change their diet, what they eat.
Yes.
Did you ever thought of that?
I did that too. In fact, that was the first thing I changed was the diet. For me, I ended up having to go carnivore for a while to heal my gut. I know a lot now that I didn't know before, but I had leaky gut, leaky brain, leaky skin. And now I have none of those things because I've healed all of that up. So part of it was diet and then avoiding all sorts of toxic chemicals and things that were bothering me.
Well, that is a. I know a lot of people would have just go on Amazon buy their own tallow. But why did you decide that maybe I can make it myself? And then not only I'm gonna make it myself, I'm gonna take it to the market and push forward and share with people what I have done.
Yeah.
Why did you inspire? Because some people would just be too afraid to take it to the market.
Well, that was actually a fear I had. So I decided to do it simply because every product I was buying was pretty expensive with how much I had to use at the time. And I didn't like any of them very much. And I tried so many products. I tried all of the different ones I could find on Amazon and by local farmers and ranchers. And I just didn't like any of the product very much. And so I started making it and then experimenting with how to make a scent that I actually really liked. And it didn't smell like beef or like a funk that I just didn't like, right? And then I could control it all too. I could control that it wasn't in plastic. I could control how it was made. I could control all of that because I still reacted to some of the tallows I was buying because of however they were making them. I was super inflamed at the time, right? So I was reacting to lots of things. So when I made it myself, I wouldn't react to my own stuff. And then my son was really the one to push me to try to take it to market. And I said, oh, okay, well, because I was recovering and getting back into life and busy, right? And so I'm like, well, this can't be my baby. It has to be your baby. And so I said, I'll support you in making a business. I'll fund it, but we got to work together. So he's learned how to make everything. He comes up with branding. He came up with our name, and he helps do every market and all of the back end, everything, all the website, all the things that go along with it. So he pushed a lot for that. And that's kind of why I ended up actually taking it to market because I probably wouldn't have done it just on my own.
Well, that's a great son. And you said making it and so on. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me the process on where do you get the tallow? Well,
yeah.
Where do you get it to? Do you have the equipment, the supplies? Where do you get the ingredients to actually make it?
Okay, so to make tallow, you buy suet, which is the good fat around the kidneys of a cow, and then you have to melt it down. So at first we were doing all of that, and the meltdown process is a very long process because you have to melt it really slow so you don't ruin the tallow, and then refrigerate it take all the gunky stuff out and do that day after day to refine it. And it usually takes about 2 weeks to refine it well enough that it doesn't smell bad. Okay. So you're just constantly messing with that. I have recently found a supplier that's out of Ohio. He's a rancher and he refines it for me in such a way that I don't have to do a ton of it anymore. So he's got all the organic, grass-fed, free-range cows, no antibiotics, no vaccines. And it's exactly what I was looking for. I was getting it from a rancher here, but this guy in Ohio does it for me now. So I would rather find somebody in Utah to do it, but so far, no luck on how much they charge me for that. So then you do that whole process and then it's ready to be made. So we make a whip, which is literally you take tallow and you whip it with a kitchen beater. So it's got the consistency of like a mousse or a whipped cream, or you can melt it and then add your essential oils when it's cooling, and then it's got the density of a sap. It's a totally different feel to it.
And then once you get it to that stage, do you have mold where you pour it in, or how do you pour it to?
We pour it straight into jars. So we have glass jars because plastics are bad. So we pour it straight into that, or we use for the whip, we treat it like icing, where you have a big icing bag and then you squirt it into the jars just as if you were doing icing on a cake. It's not icing, but
Yeah. It makes sense, man.
Yeah.
And from the time you get the tallow and from the time you pour it into the jar, how long does that take?
So we make everything small batch. We make anywhere between 20 and 40 jars at a time, whether it's salve or whip. The whip is faster. It takes approximately, 2 hours for a full batch from beginning to completely end of cleaned up at the end. For the melt, takes longer because you have to melt it, but then you also have to cool it back down. So otherwise it evaporates all of your essential oils. So that one takes maybe 3 hours to make a batch, beginning to end of cooling. All cleaned up and ready to go for another one.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And that's assuming the tallow's already been refined.
The one you get from Ohio.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So if we're refining our own tallow, it takes a couple of weeks to get it completely refined, and then it's the process of actually making the lotion.
Perfect. And I was asking you earlier, when you decided to make the business, how much support did you get from family or friends? I know a lot of time it doesn't usually, you will think it will be natural, but sometimes it's not. People don't support you when you do that.
Yeah. Okay. So my son was pushing for it, so I had great support from him. From my husband and my other kids, they were medium supportive. They were pretty good. Okay, do it, but we're not necessarily going to be involved in it too much. They're all somewhat involved in it now. They all help. Friends thought I was dividing my energy too much because I'm doing other things as well. And they're like, why would you start another business right now when you're trying to do other things, right? So most of my friends weren't particularly supportive until I started sharing my tallow with them. And then they're like, oh, this is good stuff. So now they're like, okay, I still think you're a little crazy, but it's fine. You know what I mean? So they like the end result. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's okay. I got the recording.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue. You said they like the end result.
So mostly supportive. I got a few negative comments, and then from my extended family, like my other brothers and sisters and stuff, they were okay. They didn't necessarily understand what I was doing. Too much, but
It's okay.
It's okay.
What's the goal? What's the ultimate objective for the business?
We would like to reach as many people as we can because it's such a healing thing. I also love to teach people how to make tallow because there's no competition in life. It's all just spreading good things, right? So I've had several people come up to me and go, how do you make this? And I'm like, you can come to my house. I will literally teach you how to make it. And you can start your own business because the more people using tallow, the better. It's super nourishing for your skin. For us, we'd like to grow some more online than in person, except I like the in person. I like interactions with people. There's it's personal when you talk to people and they have skin conditions and tallow can help, or they have health conditions and tallow can help with a lot of that. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So I like that.
Yeah, I can see why your son would like to be online more. It's just reduce. That's I like that too.
Right.
It just reduce. You can sell as much as online than you have to go physical.
Yeah, we need to do more of that, and we're just learning how to grow online because we're new. So we do a giveaway each week, and so from all our different events, and so we get people's email addresses for that. So then we'll nurture people from that. Other than that, we have our websites and our Instagram up, but we're new, so we're not particularly popular yet, right?
And what is your website name or Instagram name if people want to buy your product?
Our website is tallowmancy.com, and our Instagram is @tallowmancy, and our Facebook is the same thing, @tallowmancy.
People can just go buy it.
Yeah.
That is great. Nancy, sorry. Thank you for sharing with me.
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
No problem.
Thank you for sharing with me those story. Any last sort of advice for someone that is hoping to start a small business, coming to a craft show like this?
You don't have to have everything at the beginning. We kind of started on almost a whim. Not really a whim, but okay, let's do this, right? And instead of having a giant plan, which I have done with other things in the past, I just said, okay, well, let's figure out what we have to do as our minimum viable product to start, right? I'm a perfectionist. I want to have everything perfect and just right. And it's hard for me to kind of go with the flow and just start things without overthinking and over planning. But I also stall out if I overthink and over plan. So this has been a good mix of kind of just jumping into like, okay, well, we can sell at farmers markets. Let's just pick some, right? And let's just go. Oh, what do we need to sell at a farmer's market? Well, let's get a few of those things and then do that. Like, we didn't have chairs or anything at first. We just, anyway, stuff like that. So you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. But you do need to take action. If you don't take action, nothing gets done. Nothing gets sold, right? If we don't show up at events, nothing gets sold at this point because we're not heavy online yet, right? So take action, just get started, just get going, and problems will crop up, but then you'll solve them as they go. So it's all good.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for chatting with me. Good luck with the business this year.
I appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thank